All righty, guys, it's showtime. My name is Ramasio Fulcher. I am the California kid right here from California, and you've joined us today on our Sunday call brought to you by Networking Wisdom. We do this call every single Sunday. We've done it for the last 3 years. Ladies and gentlemen, this call is a free call. It's open to anyone that's a part of direct sales or network marketing. Every single Sunday, the same time, the same number, we teach two specific things. We never change. It's two specific things that we teach every single Sunday on this same number at the same time. Number one, we teach you the specific skills that you need to get to the very top of your network marketing or direct sale business that you may be a part of. The second thing that we teach you is life skills as well. You'll oftentimes find that as you grow as a person, so will your business grow. In other words, you grow, your business will grow. You know, over the years, we've found that many people have actually come on the line. Some people aren't even a part of any type of direct sale company because they really enjoy this particular call. Guys, I got to tell you, I'm really excited simply because about the last 3 to 4 weeks, we've been doing a series entitled Favor. This series has been something that's very special to me, and I believe it comes at a perfect time with all the calamities that's going on in our world today. So I'm really excited that you got a chance to join us today. I want to encourage you one last time to go ahead and send out any last-minute messages to maybe a friend or two that you thought of that you want to join the call. Let them join right now. But just in case if you miss the call and you can't hear it live, not to worry. These calls are always recorded, and it's uploaded to our website within 24 hours, and you can listen to it at your leisure. Listen, I don't want to delay because today is very, very special. As we know it, today is Resurrection Day, so happy Easter to all of you wherever you are. But also, I've got a special friend, a special guest that I can't wait to actually bring on the line, somebody that I know very, very well, and today is a perfect day for this gentleman that I've selected to come on in and talk to you about favor. I can't wait to get to this. Let me give him the introduction that I know he deserves. This gentleman has an amazing story. He's an entrepreneur. He owns his own business. He's the type of guy that he started off at the bottom, and now he's at the top. I know his entire story, but I'm not gonna steal the thunder from him because I want him to share with you his story. But he's what we call a leader's leader. He's respected in his profession. He's respected outside of his profession. He's what we call a man's man. This gentleman that's getting ready to talk with you today is someone that has done millions and millions and millions of dollars inside of the direct sales profession, both in volume and in income. But more importantly than that, he's helped transform thousands of people's lives all across the world thanks to this platform of direct sales. What I'm really, really proud of him about is that at this present time, he owns his own direct sale company. And so, guys, you're getting ready to hear from not only a man of God, but also a true leader, a true pioneer in the space right now, and we're getting ready to talk to you about favor. So help me welcome my good friend, Mr. Crump. Are you with us today?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, California kid?
Man, I can hear you. Welcome to the call, brother. I'm glad you made it.
Well, first of all, man, I thank you, and man, thank you for all the wonderful things that you said about us. But I have to tell you, brother, I'm so proud and honored to be on the line with you, documented, in terms of businessforhome.org, one of the top networkers and businessmen in the world in this space, in this industry. I mean, you proved it time and time again, man. That's what I love about actually sharpening my axe with you, because you went out and you get it done, man. You document it. And most people can't say that. They have these long resumes, a lot of talk, but you've been able to produce time and time again. And I'm honored, man, to be collaborating with you on this call tonight. Man, let's have some fun for these listeners. I can't wait, brother, to see what you got.
Absolutely, man. I told everybody, thank you so much, by the way. I told everybody last week, I said, guys, y'all need to brace yourself for this week, because I'm telling you, I'm bringing in a heavy hitter. I'm bringing in the heavy hitters this week. So I'm really excited that you're here with us, and really excited to jump into this topic. Over the last week, as I've been telling you, we've been talking about favor. And so, we've got listeners from all around the world that are listening. We have actually a lot more people listen to the replay than actually those that join us live. And I can tell you this call is going to go across the water, and there will be a lot of people downloading the actual replay. One of the things I want to point out to you, as we talk about favor, on this call we have believers and we have non-believers. Not everybody on the call that listens in is a Christian. Not everybody has a relationship with God. So when we talk about favor, we started weeks ago, and I was able to explain to everyone that we wasn't just talking about passing me a piece, do me a favor and pass me a piece of bread. You know, we kind of took it a little bit deeper to get people to understand what favor is from my perspective and how you can have more of it. But I'd like to kind of, from your perspective, let's start off talking with how would you define favor to all the listeners that are listening? How would you classify it?
Well, I love what you just said, man, when you said from your perspective and vice versa from my perspective, because, you know, different people have different beliefs. Like you shared, you have listeners that tune in from all over the world. But from the Crump's perspective, I mean, one thing I'm going to say, I'm going to preface it before I give the definition, Mr. Fulcher, is one of the things that I like to do is I like people to understand the simplicity, number one, of God. I don't think God is as complex as people make it because he makes things very simple for us to understand. And for me, it's as simple as this. It's simply God clearing the path and opening doors for activated faith. That's what favor is to me. He's actually clearing the path and opening the door, but you got to hear the key word, activated faith. Before I truly believe you can get to favor, you have to have that faith that we all know. It says, without faith, it's impossible to please him. So if you haven't did step one, you can't have step two. And that's the way I think. And see, that's the simplicity.
Wait a minute. You done knocked me out already. You done knocked me out already. Say that one more time.
Yeah, you can't have step one without step two. So we don't ever want to see. We always want to jump to favor, but hold up, back up. Let's rewind. We got to talk about what it takes to get to that favor. That faith has to be activated, and I'm not talking about the proclamation, Ramasio. I'm not talking about I got faith, I'm a believer. No, show us your works. We should be able to look at your deeds. We should be able to look at your track record. We should be able to see that you are a person that's willing to take that stance, that walk to engage. This is the way favor descends upon you. That's when God begins clearing the path and opening doors once that faith is activated, because you have did step one, and that's pleasing him. And you please him by exemplifying faith, and that begins to open that door of favor on an individual's life, man. And I tell you, man, there's nothing like being in a situation to where now you've done everything that you can possibly do, and then God takes over. That's when favor kicks in, man. Now you're in a good spot.
Hold on. Ring the bell. We got him bleeding. He's on the ropes already, ladies and gentlemen. He's wobbling at the knees. Wait a minute. Woo! Listen, before we can even talk about favor, Mr. Crump is saying we need to talk about faith. Would you help break it down for us? Again, not everybody understands. Like, if we didn't know anything about faith, where would I start, Mr. Crump? Explain. I'm listening here, but help me out.
Well, like we're saying, because let's back up, man, in terms of the way that God is pleased with any of us is through our faith, meaning that we believe he is who he say he is, and he'll do what he said he'll do. So once you get to that arena and you begin to truly exemplify that, not just through proclamation, I'm going to keep going back to that because, you know, most people always love to talk the talk, but then it comes down to walking the walk. And when I say walk the walk, and it's not about perfection. Let's get that straight. I'm not talking about you being perfect. I'm not talking about you not making mistakes. I'm talking about the simplicity of you understanding the principles and the rules that was designed for you to live by. See, the way that you win the game, people think that – I look at people like yourself. Let's back up. I look at people like yourself, Ramasio, and people think he gets lucky. He's a no, man. You got to realize you somebody that understands who you are. You understand the rules of the game that has been laid out. So now when a person knows the rules, it helps them move a lot easier, faster, exponentially, because you know your rights. There are a lot of people that's walking around, they don't know their rights. They don't know what their inheritance is. You were put here to win. You were put here to take dominion. You were put here to conquer. You were put here to overcome. So when you're losing and you're allowing people, your circumstances, any of that to hold you back or hold you down, it's because you don't know the rules to the game. So once you understand the principles and the rules and you abide by them, it makes it easy for you to exercise, and things begin to happen for you swiftly. And this is how favor kicks into your life. So with me, with faith, man, it's simply understanding the principles that are laid out by God for you to live a fulfilled life, man, and understanding the rules of the game that you are supposed to be playing by. And when you begin to do this, your path will be cleared, your doors will be open. You never have to worry about how it's going to happen. All you got to do is know it's going to happen. I don't have to know how. That's not my business. My job is to execute. My job is to move forward. My job is to walk, and then God take care of everything else, man. And that's the way that we live. That's the way that we walk. That's the way that we believe. And that's the way we continue to walk in favor and have the success that we've been blessed with, because we understand the rules of the game and we abide by them. Back to you, sir.
Wow, man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So let me just kind of talk for all the different levels that are on this call, because we know we got different people that have different measures of faith on this line. So, Damon, I'm listening to what I'm hearing, and I'm saying to myself, if this was my first call, I'm saying, okay, where can I go to learn the rules? Where would I go, Mr. Crump, to learn these rules of faith so I can begin to start to understand, number one, and then number two, begin to start to apply these rules to my life?
Well, first of all, the rule for me, and once again, from my perspective, is the Bible. That would be the rule where I would come from, and to have you a great mentor that can spiritually guide you as well, to have you with a clear and concise understanding of actually what it is you should be doing and how you should be developing this faith. So that way you can begin to have the favor that's on your life, because when you begin to work with things from the root, you're always able to get it done and take care of it. And to me, that's the root of actual favor, is having activated faith. But like you said, I need to know what faith is. And when you having that faith in God, man, and being able to exemplify those principles, and for me personally, it starts with the Bible, my family and I. It starts with the Bible, believing in the words that was from God inspired himself. That's where we start our journey personally. And now, once again, also having a mentor in that arena like yourself, doing amazing calls like this every Sunday, pouring into people so they can grow from a faith perspective, so they can become conquerors and kings like you are, man. This is an amazing call you have set up here.
Absolutely, man. So basically, we should start in the Bible first. Are you recommending people, and I'm taking it to the granular level first before we really blow this thing up, if you know what I mean? So are you recommending someone should start 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day? Let's just say someone who's never been to church that's listening to this call. They have a Bible. Okay, where should I start? Should I start in the Old Testament, New Testament, they, yao, thee? Man, I can't understand what this stuff is saying, Damon.
Well,
I'm trying to figure out the rules.
Well, for me, hey, guess what? For me, I struggle with the rules, and I'm glad you're saying that in terms of the King James Version. Man, it was a struggle. But then when I got the In Living Bible, I'll never forget, man, as a young man, when I was able to read the In Living Bible, what took place was I was able to understand it because it was in everyday language. And I started in like Romans and Acts, and I began to Hebrews, and it began to all come together and make sense for me, man. And then once I matured, I was able to revisit the Old Testament, and it grew on me. But definitely, man, I would say get an In Living Bible, which is everyday translation. So literally, it's laid out for you in everyday language, like we're talking right now, that you can read it, you can understand it, and then what you're able to do when you start with Acts and Hebrews and Philippians and Corinthians and things, then you can always go back and read the four Gospels, and then you can go back and read the Old Testament, man. That's where I always encourage someone new to get started at, in that arena right there.
Man, I told you it was going to be fire this week. I told you it was going to be fire this week. So, Mr. Crump, you talked about faith and the origin of it and where we should go and what we can do to start. And I appreciate that. But then you also talked about, before we can get to favor, you talked about activated faith. And can you go a little bit further? You mentioned about works is more important than words. What do you mean when you say activated faith? What's that look like?
Well, but the thing I didn't want to do is, once again, just haphazardly throw faith out there, because people do that all the time because they're accustomed to having conversations. So it's like basically like this. It's like let's take it on a secular level. There's a lot of people that have knowledge, but then who operates with applied knowledge? So in other words, everything that you know, because people love to tell you what they know. They love to commentate. They love to talk. Here's my point. Show me, have you been able to get to a position where you are able to apply the knowledge that you're now sitting on? So the same thing now when it comes to this activated faith. Okay, you know about faith now. You learn the rules of the game. You understand the principles. When are you going to apply? Why are you so afraid of challenging situations? Why you don't ever believe big? Why are you afraid to make history like you are and the private conversations that we're having? You're setting up now to make history, something that was never, ever been seen before or done in this industry. I love the conversation, man. I love where you're coming from, because guess what you're telling me? Man, I'm operating with activated faith. I'm believing big. I'm going all in. I'm going to make it happen. That's what I'm talking about, having that heart of a lion, man, for you to be able to move forward and win and become victorious and not settling, not taking the hand that life deals you. No, man, you're creating the hand that you desire and you want. And the way that you do that is, no, you step out. You go, because here's the one thing I know. God can't do nothing for you if you don't want to move. It always comes through your movement and your action. That's when he'll descend upon you with everything that you need along the journey, man. And it's getting to a point now where you love to be challenged, man, because it's overwhelming when you become victorious of things that seemed impossible, things that you thought would be a challenge. And what it does is it elevates your belief and your faith to unheightened levels, man, that's never been experienced or seen before, man. And that's where I'm standing on in terms of activated faith. It's got to be actions with it.
Man, I totally agree 100%, and that was clearly defined. I really, really like how you defined that. So now with that being said, that kind of sets the table for let's get into faith. Now, first of all, let's get into favor. Now,
okay.
My first question for you, when we talk about favor, do you believe that there's different levels to favor? Some that have a little, some that have a lot. Do you believe that or not?
Yes, I do. I do believe it.
Okay, so help us understand, for the person that has a lot of favor upon their life, what does that look like? What does that feel like? And how do they get a lot of favor on their life?
The reason why I believe that it's levels to it is because, think about it. Somebody may be sitting at home and they may only want to have their bills paid. So now somebody's called them. We having challenging times. Oh, man, I'm going to pay your light bill for this month. Oh, my goodness, man, that the favor of God is on my life. And that's what they're believing for. They're believing for their bills to get paid. And there are people, once again, I'm going to use you. I'm going to go to the other extreme, that's believing to make history, that's expecting favor to descend upon their lives to where you're looking to make millions and millions of dollars in a 1-month time frame. And the thing that I'm saying is that's different levels of belief, there's different levels of activated faith, which is also going to require different levels of favor. Because it's not that you can't have the favor that someone else is having that's believing for in a major way. You're just unwilling, once again, going back to the rules of the game, to play your full hand. So now if you don't want to, it's not my fault that you're not experiencing all the favor that you actually could be getting, because you're unwilling to step out. You're unwilling to realize, man, listen, if you want to have that extraordinary favor, you got to be willing to take on extraordinary challenges. You got to be willing to take on extraordinary obstacles. You got to be willing for the things that's going to come your way, the things that's going to happen to you. This is something you can't escape. Romacio, it's like a rite of passage. Because now most people look and they get jealous and they get envious of people that go out and operate in the activated faith when they don't understand that same right is yours. You have the same exact capability to do the exact same thing. You choose not to. So now their level of favor is going to be different to yours, because all you want is somebody to come along and pay your light bill for the month. And you got somebody else that's believing to change the world and have, hundreds of thousands of people earning 6 figures per month. And they're creating a vehicle and an avenue for that to be able to happen, man. So absolutely, I believe there's different levels of faith. Yes, sir.
Well said again. So if I was, let's just say level 10 was the highest, hypothetically, and level 1, let's just say, was the lowest, what would I have to do to go from a level 1 or level 2? I'm just trying to I want everybody to hear some practical steps that you would recommend that they could do to be able to stretch and increase their favor.
Let me say something to you, man. That's something you said this in terms of level 1 to level 10. There's this training series that we teach on, man. And I'm going to tell you the key. I truly believe, this is my perspective again. I truly believe the key is learning how to master adversity. There's a training that we do, and it's called Mastering Adversity. And I'm going to be honest with you, Romacio, when I was teaching this years ago, I didn't believe it. I didn't realize it was being prophetic, that something was coming in my life, that I was going to have to learn to master adversity. And when a person learns how to master adversity, because that's the biggest thing that could ever stop your favor. I don't believe it's the enemy. And most people say, hold on, Devon, hold on. We got to have a conversation. But let me tell you why. Because I truly believe the enemy have no dominion or no rights over you that God don't ordain. We give the enemy too much credit. It's always the enemy this, the enemy's busy, the enemy's this. No, it's you. Why are you always blaming the enemy for any challenge that you have? No, there's areas in your life that you need to grow with. So for me personally, man, it has to be where a person needs to understand the only thing that could really take everything away from you is the fact that you can't see or be able to stay focused through adversity. I'm talking about things that will knock you out the game, things that will take the wind out your sail. When you learn to overcome these things, when you learn to master those type of things, man, it changes everything for you. Let me tell you why. Because when you're learning to master adversity on your way to getting that level 10 favor, it shows you three things. I learned this, Romacio, and as I was teaching this, let me share something with you, man. I learned that adversity is a blessing. Now, once again, hold on to mine. Here we go again. No, let me explain myself. I truly believe adversity is a blessing. Let me tell you why. Adversity reveals three things to you that you must understand. Number one, it reveals things about you. See, it'll show you you're not where you think you are once you get in an adverse situation. You don't have what you really thought you had. That's number one. Number two.
I'm bleeding over here, Demond.
You ready? Number two, Mark, it shows you where you are with God. Oh, you do all that talking, all of this and that, and God gives you a chance to see where you actually are with him once you get in that adverse situation. But here's the big one. But number three, it shows you where you are with people. See, now when adversity strikes in your life, you have challenging times, you're trying to figure your way out, let me see who's with you now. See, I'm going to show you, I'm going to use adversity to reveal to you some people that are in your life that really should be there, or I'm going to show you that they're not genuinely there for you. They really don't love you like they say they do. They really don't believe in you like they say they do. So this adversity is really for you. I'm blessing you, and you're fighting against it, but you don't understand. I'm showing you something that you absolutely need to see. And Napoleon Hill, man, it's one of my most favorite quote I've almost ever heard. It's one of my tops. And that quote is, every seed of adversity carries an equivalent seed of success. You got to be able to identify it, and you have to be able to see it. And, man, I'm so thankful that God blessed me and put in my heart and spirit, mastering adversity releases the gates of favor on your life, man. Back to you, good brother.
Wow, this is getting good. As my man would say, gooder and gooderer. So when you talk about mastering adversity, really those are two separate words. The first word is master. Like how I'd like for you, I know you have an amazing story, and I don't know how much you want to share today or whatever, but talk about how does someone master, what are some steps to master an adverse time?
Well, one of the things that you have to do is you always need to accept where you are, especially this is when you know it's a God-given adversity. Is when you've done everything you can and things that have happened to you happen to you unjustifiably, or you giving it everything you got and still you're in a challenging situation. There's something that you need to see. Or there's a place that you're going and people that can't come with you, Ramasio. They can't come on a ride. So we love to take who we want to take with us. And we think who should be with us, who should do this for us. But God has a way of showing you, no, let me show you. This person shouldn't be with you. This person is not ordained to be with you. Because I always share with our people, one of the things that we always share is there are always people that are ordained to be with you. You don't have to ever really sweat them coming. They'll be there. All you have to do is continue to do what it is that you do, and they'll be revealed to you. So for me personally, one of the things, Ramasio, in terms of being able to master adversity is having a concise vision. Once you have a vision that you're able to align your heart, your mind, and your decision-making with, lined up with the will of God, man, you're already on your way. So you just need to always head in that direction. And most people, they lose focus because they don't have any direction. They really don't have a vision. They really don't. Most people you sit down to, man, they can't give you a vision. They can't give you their 5-7 year plan of what they see, where things are going, where things are headed. So most people never, ever, ever confront you with that, ever, at any time. So now you're literally throwing spaghetti against the wall and hope it sticks. So when that big bad bully of adversity comes, that's why you always are knocked off your position, because you never really saw where you was going while you was there. You never made it plain to be able to experience where it was you were going. I shared this, Ramasio, on the call we had on Friday, right? And I shared this with some individuals. My wife and my kids, man, we used to live, when all my kids were babies, we had a one-bedroom apartment, right? This is when I used to wash cars around the city of New Orleans in a mobile detailing truck. And, man, I'm dirty every day. The van didn't have any air conditioner in the summer, and it didn't have any heat in the winter. We would always be smelling like gas. That was our only transportation. I'm talking about me, my wife, and my 4 kids. And literally, we ride and we come to the barbecue at your house, and it's like, man, where's all that gas and fumes coming from? It was coming from the van that we were on, right? We're sweating. We're embarrassed. But here's what I want you to hear. There was a friend of mine who used to always come out of the house to get his vehicle detailed. And I'll never forget, one day he just broke down, man. This gentleman named Steve. He just broke down, and he said to me, man, why are you always so happy? He said, man, I'm looking at where you live at. You in a one-bedroom house with your wife and 4 kids. You got one table in the house with 2 chairs and a sofa, and all of you are one bathroom, and you guys living here. You smiling every day, and you in good spirits. At that time, as a young man, I shared with him. I says, man, I'm living in my future, Steve. I actually see where I'm going. I know this is not it for my life. This is something that I have to go through to actually get to where I'm going. This is a rite of passage, man, that I have to take to be able to go to the level that I know that I deserve to be at. And it's going to take those challenges. It's going to take those bumps in the road. It's going to take people letting you down. It's going to take people hurting you, people betraying you, the vision being delayed. It's going to take all of these factors, but you have to know, no, man, I've already won and I'm victorious because I'm claiming it, I'm believing, I'm walking in it, and I made a decision that I'm going to master adversity. And I'm telling you, man, once I was able to wrap my mind around that teaching and that training, that changed my life. And anything that I pretty much was faced with, I'm already knowing it was defeated because I understood the concept of being able to master adversity on your way to victory and achieving the goals that you have in front of you. Back to you, good brother.
Man, you're saying a lot, boy. You're saying a lot. So when you talk about, like, you're right. Most people don't have a vision for their life. They don't, and that's why they're easily distracted. Let's pause there for a second. Let's talk about that. Okay, so for all the listeners that are listening, and maybe they don't desire to be a business owner, and they're not trying to make millions of dollars. Maybe they work a job. Maybe they just got laid off. 16 million people. That's half of the size of California that now just got laid off. So Damon, talk to me. my mother was a blue collar worker. My father was a blue collar worker. I don't know anything about owning a business. I only know how to work a job. And here it is, you're talking about a vision for my life. What are you saying to me, man? What does that mean?
Let me tell you something. First of all, man, you have to have a desire inwardly for change. That's number one. Les Brown made another powerful quote. He said, "I'm so tired of seeing people die at the age of 21 and don't get buried until they're 65." So in other words, man, people are walking around in a daze their whole life because you're too arrogant. Let me say what I mean. Most broke people are arrogant. I'm going to be the first one to raise my hand, so I don't want nobody on the line to be offended. Oh, this guy's he's getting cocky and arrogant. No. When I was broke, I was very arrogant, and here's what I mean. Man, I know everything. Oh, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing this. You're never open to anything. You're broke. You don't have the results. You got to say to yourself, hold on, man. Something I'm doing is not working. So for the people, Romacio, that your listeners around the world, they got to humble themselves. And they got to say, hey, hold on. Man, the California kid, it's got to start with the mentorship that I need from him because obviously he went to heights that I desire to go to. So I have to humble myself and be able to listen and learn and get the game plan from this man and execute it to a T. No, listen. No. We don't need your input right now. And I don't want to sound demeaning. We don't even need you to think right now. We need you to follow what it is that's being laid out in front of you because if you were able to get to where it is you wanted to be, you would already have the results. So it first has to begin with you saying, no, I got a desire for change. I got a desire for something different. And once you're able to do that, Romacio, and a person opens up, they're open to change, now a vision can be developed and implemented within them so that they can win. But if that person is closed off and they don't have a desire for anything different, see, that's what we got to learn to accept. Because too much in this industry, guess what we tend to do? We think everybody want to be like the California kid. we think everybody want to be a world changer. We think everybody want to make history. Rather than understanding, man, we got to learn to accept people where they are. And we have to realize, and here's what we have to honestly say, you know what? This might not be for you. I'll never forget, man, my wife blessed me with this. I'll never forget when I was speaking on the stage one time, and I'm sharing on the stage, and we came up the stage, standing ovation. And I'll never forget. Man, Kiana shared with me, she says, man, you really think everybody want to be rich. You think everybody want to be wealthy. She said, until you learn to let people be who they are, you're going to suffer a lot of heartache and pain because you're trying to drag them or pull them to a place that they have no desire to go. So if a person is not open to be impregnated with a vision, man, I got to respect their stance because it's got to begin with you being open, which is also a seed for that activated faith for favor that we talked about. So if you're not open, then there's nothing I can do, God can do, or anybody because you got your mind made up on how you're going to do it. And I give you a salute, and I respect the decision that you've made, but I will never put any more energy into someone who don't have a desire for change, and that's where it has to begin.
Couldn't agree with you anymore. Absolutely right. Spot on. So suppose I do have a desire for change. I am open. And then you talked about a vision being developed. What are some just simple practical steps that a person could do to begin to develop and establish a vision for their life?
Well, first thing, always, man, you got to develop that. You need to plan your life, then plan your work. That's important. You need to plan your life, then plan your work, meaning that if you know you're busy, I work a job 40 hours a week, you know the line we always hear, I don't have any time for this. No, you have time for what you want to because now once you're able to max out what your schedule is for things that you have to do for work, date night, all these different things, now let's fill in the schedule. Let's fill in the schedule with the time that you can squeeze in, whether it be a few hours a day or a week for you to begin the journey of saying, let's set the goal and the vision based upon where you are now. And as we begin to evolve, we can adjust it. So now, once you're able to say, hey, you know what, man, I have a vision that I want to be able to bring in $5,000 a month for my family. We can start right there. We begin to lay that out. We plan it based upon your lifestyle, where you're currently at. Once you reach that point, if you want to make an adjustment or you want to say, hey, you know what, I want to go full-time. Now I want to get to $10,000, $15,000 a month, whatever the case may be, because I want to sow more seeds and make other things happen. We can develop that because it's a constant evolution that's taking place in the process of helping you on your journey to get you to the level that you desire to go to. But once again, it starts with helping you right where you are. See, don't make a plan that I have for my life and think that you got to do the same or even create something similar. No, let's create something that you know you're willing to work with and do. Because remember, your level of belief, your level of faith may not be where mine is at. I got a radical belief. I got a radical faith. You know, we've been doing this full time. This year will be 14 years. So you know how it works in this industry. Man, you eat what you kill. So if that doesn't happen for you, then you're not able to bring home the spoils to take care of what you need for your family. So everybody don't have the stomach to be able to deal with this on a full-time basis. But if you definitely are open for allowing us to create the vision based upon where you are, and now we work our way out, oh, man, we got something that we could do with you. That's where it begins. Don't think that you have to have the vision like a California kid. No, man, you can be a part. Your vision can be under the umbrella of his ultimate vision by just being able to do your small part that you're willing to do. And that could be, man, 5-6 hours a week that you're able to participate and give in. But here's the thing. You got to be disciplined to that process. Now, that's the one thing you have to do. You got to stay on task, and you got to be disciplined to the vision that we lay out to make sure that you're able to see the results that you truly desire based upon where your life is currently at. Back to you, sir.
I love it. So, guys, what we're talking about, is we're talking about mastering adversity so that you can increase your favor. Damon Crump has said it eloquently well. Basically, if you want maximum favor in your life, maximum, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. He believes it's tied to mastering adversity, and I truly agree with that. And so the first thing about mastering adversities he's talking about is you must have a vision for your life. Okay, now Damon, all right, let's say I've got a vision now. Thank you. I've taken heed to everything you've said. Now I've got a vision, but I want to begin to start mastering adversity. So obviously we're not going to get into adversity because that could be a personal thing. It could be a spiritual adversity. It could be a health adversity. It could be a job adversity. We understand adversity, right? And sometimes it's all of the above at the same time. But when you talk about mastering it, I'd like for you to share maybe your own personal stories of something that you've gone through where this, so we can actually see what you did, so we can begin to hear at deeper levels of what you mean when you say master it, because it sounds really good, but I want everybody to have a firm concept of what does he mean mastering the adversity.
Let me say something to you. First of all, before I actually go into my story on it, which I don't have a problem sharing with everyone, I want to start right here. The next step after you really get a vision laid out for your life, that could be the compass. So you can always refer back to that vision whenever it's challenging times, whenever you're having difficulties. I mean, literally, we have our vision laid out all over our house, man. It can't miss us. It can't escape us because we have it where we have to see it. But here's where I'm going. It's also important who you're listening to, who you're spending your time. We may think that's something, that doesn't, no. That's major. Because now who's speaking into your life, who you're following, all of that matters. Because remember now, if this person or these people, your family members, and you know they're negative, like my family is, I already know how they think. So in a lot of cases, man, I'm not going to, when it comes to business, that's not where I'm going to indulge. So now you got to always make sure you're in the right places with the right people. For example, you can't afford to miss these calls. You can't afford to miss the events that the California kids put on and he hosts or trainings or whatever it may be, because you want to always have yourself in the proper environment. You always want to be in a situation, man, to where you want to exponentially increase your chances of succeeding. Me personally, mastering adversity, Ramasio, I'm going to say it like this, man. I know a lot of people will look at us and they said, for us to strike back after the first catastrophe that we've dealt with this industry and the company that we currently have and the company that we were partnered in. And most people were like, you will go back to what you did. You don't want to try anything new and exciting, but they don't understand. I had a vision, and I saw the vision for what I'm currently doing now, and I was willing to – I wasn't willing to compromise. I knew what I saw. I knew what I felt. I knew how it could be done, and I knew what needed to happen. That was important to me to stay on task. So, man, we went through a situation where obviously, man, there was a lot that my family and I lost. And I'm going to be very transparent, man. We lost, and because I want people to be encouraged. I want people to see where we are now and think, wow, man, he can talk that way because he's winning. But no, let me share with you, man. We were down to nothing after that last situation. And I remember we were down to $277 to our name. And I'm
$277.
I remember the amount. Reminds you.
$277.
And I'm talking about this was what we were in April. This was February. This was February, early March of 2019.
February 2019. I'm listening.
2019. Wow. $277 to our name. That's what we had in our bank account. My wife, kids, all of us. Because once in mind, you got to hear this part as well as I'm telling the story. I was operating in activated faith. Man, I'm moving. I'm talking to the manufacturer and I'm talking to the back office gentleman and I'm getting all this stuff set up. I got $277 in my bank.
Wait, Mr. Crump. I want to pause right there because this I want to really we're going to drive the knife in right here. Wait a minute.
Okay.
You were in a previous, business engagement and things
right.
for whatever reason went sour. You're down. You're married with 4 children,
That's
and
right.
you're down to $277 to your name. There's no savings. There's no. This is it.
No,
this is it.
Because I lost everything I had that was supposed to be coming to me from the last situation. So I went all in on that. So now I was told. Documentation. See, that's one thing. So when people talk, we actually got the debt sheet still to this day from the CPA that everybody was supposed to get, and everything for us on the debt sheet was totaling over $400,000, and really technically about $413,000 with all the debt that was under our name in cash and loans and taxes, all of that was supposed to be paid to us. Right?
And
so
there
now,
you are with $277 to your name.
277.
And instead of quitting, you're saying you're on the phone, moving forward, moving ahead, and
yes,
you're
sir.
talking to people as if you got millions of dollars in the bank.
Rocking and rolling, right? we moving. You thinking like, man, this guy's ready to roll. So as I begin to move, and I'm operating in faith, man, we had 3 couples, 3 investors, and now we're going back to favor. All of this is going to swing back to favor to give you the story. From $277 to our name, we had 3 couples that came to my wife and I to invest, to give us the money to get started with this company. And I want you to hear what I'm about to tell you.
Wait. Before you go there, I know we normally don't do this, but today I want to make an exception. I want you to tell everybody what type of company specifically did you start. I want the whole world to hear this.
We started a sanitary napkin and panty liner company. The thing that everybody and their mama will run from, which I embrace because I love it, because it gives me time to gobble up the market share and stay in the HOV lane. So I love it. So a sanitary napkin panty liner company, right? For the second time, not just once. Twice.
So wait a minute,
so
hold on. Wait. You're a man, and all of a sudden you educated in sanitary napkins and panty liners.
Man, the best product I ever sold in my life. I love it.
Wow.
I love it.
Okay. I'm listening. I'm here. $277 to your name. We starting a sanitary napkins company, okay, and panty liner company. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, so we moving. So you keep in mind, we compensation is together and this and that and office is together and all of this with 277, and we had 3 couples that came to my wife and I and said, we want to invest in your vision. Now I want you to hear what I'm about to tell you. Ramasio, we didn't call one person for a dime. Now you talking about favor?
What?
Not one phone call did we make to someone saying, hey, can you give us some money? Or are you going to give us some money? These people came to us. Now keep in mind, I want you to hear what I'm about to tell you. I'm still thinking I'm going to be getting some of the money that I was owed, right, that I was promised is going to happen. This is how it's going to – I'm waiting on that. Never came through. So now I'm fulfilling the vision, moving in activated faith. Favor kicks in on a higher level, so where now these 3 individuals came in, invested what they invested. Man, now we've been able to gross several millions of dollars off of a $6 product.
Hold on. I think this is the knockout blow right here. I think this is where the fight is over. It's finished. Did you say millions? Wait, February 2019, you was basically broke. Here we are today, a year and some change later, millions of dollars in sales off a $6 product.
On a $6 product, we launched the company June 1st, 2019, and currently right now today we're closing in on $3 million in revenue on a $6 product, man, a little over 1 year later. And you're talking about favor, you're talking about blessings, man, that right there is an example for anybody out there. Man, if you're willing to believe, you're willing to master adversity, you can overcome anything. Man, with us being laughed at, with our name being dragged through the mud, people attacking our character, man. Man, they said all type of stuff about us. Man, and I mean, we have so many people that flow with that, believe that, oh, my goodness, he's no good. All these different things that we fought through. But at the end of the day, for Moscow, it ended up being a blessing, man, because we were able to see where a lot of people stood with us, man. We were able to see who was with us, who really believed in what it was that we were doing, man. And I'm so thankful to be so blessed with the people, man, that I've been surrounded around, that has been on this journey with me from day one. They've never wavered. They've never faltered. And to look at where we are now, celebrating this, man, is nothing short of amazing and a blessing, brother. And I'm telling you, when you talk about favor, that's what I'm talking about, for you to be able to be where we were last year and to look at where we currently are now. It is, I can't even call it a 180-degree turn. It's got to be something better than that. That's what has happened to our life.
Damon, but the best part is it didn't even take long. It didn't even take long.
It don't take long.
But during that time, I think the number one thing I want to go back to is when I love how you said it. You said that the last situation you were in, how did you word it? You said they left you for dead, but they forgot to pull the trigger. Something like that you told. No,
they left us for dead. They forgot to kill us.
Yeah, so they left us for dead, but forgot to kill us.
They forgot to kill us, man. Yes, they forgot. They forgot to complete the task because they thought that, oh, he'll never be able to do this again. Oh, like I said, we're going to bury his character. We're going to destroy it. We're going to say things about him. We're going to make people believe stuff. And like I said, they thought that would stop us, but they underestimated, you ready for this? Activated faith. They underestimated, Ramasio. I knew the rules. See, that's what they underestimated. They underestimated that they didn't control, or they weren't the final authority over my life. See, they didn't realize that they wasn't in charge of what was designed to happen to us. See, the thing is, and I wouldn't give them the victory, because you'll hear people see all the time, oh, he's trying to sabotage. He should have. No, man. Nobody has that type of victory. You'll never hear me saying that it was somebody else's fault on why I didn't succeed. No, I'm in control of my life. I say whether I win or lose. So it was up to me at that time if I was going to falter on adversity. But remember, Don't forget, Ramasio, I had been doing that training leading up to this. Mastering adversity. Oh, you on the stage. Oh, you're the big man. You got the crowd. You got all these people there. It's packed out, and you're teaching on adversity. Guess what? I didn't realize that I was training myself. I was preparing myself for what was coming. And, man, when I tell you, man, I was able to go to war mentally, me, my family, and a lot of good people around the country that stood and believed with us, man. And when I tell you, it changed everything. The vision stayed clear. I never wavered off of that part. We kept moving. We kept believing. We kept making the calls. We never stopped the movement for 1 second of where it was we were going, because we knew that to master adversity and keep the faith activated, the favor was going to show up. It's a formula that has to work, because you know why? God is not a liar. So that's something that I did know. I knew that I was a king. I knew I was put here to win. I knew I was put here to victorious. So for me, man, I didn't have a lot of sleepless nights. I slept good at night. You know, I had, had peace in my life. All of these different things, because I knew it was going to happen. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I knew it was going to happen, and I knew that wasn't the end of the story.
If you don't mind, give us 3 to 4 things that you were doing during that time to keep your faith activated. I want the listeners to clearly hear specifically 3 to 4 things from you that you were doing based upon what you were believing for, so that they can kind of see, aha, this is what it looked like when he was going through that season.
Can I tell you this, man? It's going to be really simple things. And if anybody thinks it's going to be something profound, I'm so sorry to disappoint you. Number one, Ramasio, I was talking with the right people that kept me in the right frame of mind, man. I had some blessed friends that I was communicating with, that I was talking to, man. You know, my good friend, one of my best friends in the world, Mr. Wayne Kimball, Eric 50K Jackson, Charles Watson, Keith Evans, Quintus McDonald. These were people that I was talking to on an everyday basis that was encouraging you, kept you positive. Man, things going to happen. Things going to be all right. I stayed in that zone. You ready for this? Look at the second thing. I was exercising. That's why I say it's not going to be profound things, because what most people do when they get in tough situations, they go ball up in the bed, get under the cover, oh, my life is over, something towards me, something has to happen. But I was getting up, I was exercising. Man, I was riding a bike, I was working, because all of these things keep your mind moving. It keep your mind fresh. You ready for this? Man, I was doing the activity. I was still doing the activity. What do you mean when you said activities, Damon? I was still doing all of my conference calls that I normally do. Now, keep in mind, I'm on a call with $277 for my name. I'm encouraging people. I'm telling them we're going to win. I'm telling you guys it's coming. It's going to happen. Not only that, this is the big one, Moss. You ready for this? We planned a launch event. We got a launch event planned that's ready to rock and roll. We ain't got no product. I'm talking about the launch event is getting kicked off. We done got the hotel. The back office ain't up yet, man. It was bananas. The level
wait a minute. On. You said you was planning a launch event, a hotel and everything, and you got $277 to your name and don't nobody know it.
All of this stuff is going on, brother Ramasio. I got activities being planned. Man, we projected when because it's the funny part. Well, let me show you. Guess when the product arrived at the launch event? You ready? The day before.
The product arrived the day before the event.
The day before the actual event is when the product comes out.
Wow.
The word was on the street. He's not going to have no product. He's giving this event so that he could get product. They're not already knowing. Man, the plan is executing. We're rocking and rolling. Man, we had a sold-out launch event. We got the product there.
Wait. I want the world to hear. How many people were at your launch event?
The venue that we had, it only held 700. But we had literally 300 people outside trying to get in. So technically, it was 1,000 people at a launch event that was only at a venue that was able to hold 700 folks that we was able to get in the building. And, man, we were able to have that sellout along.
Now wait a minute, Damon. Wait a minute. For the listeners that are listening, and we already told them you're selling sanitary napkins, panty liners, and pads. And many people are probably thinking, Does anybody still wear that stuff anymore? And you got a launch event with 1,000 people there with a room that only holds 700, and you had $277 to your name.
Did I tell you this, Romacio? Let me share something with you, man. I smile because people don't understand the depths to it. Let me back. I got to give it to you. I got to give it all to you. I've always in my life, one of the things that I believe for, vision for my life, is that with my wife and I being entrepreneurs since 1994, one of the things that I always wanted to do in business, I always said to myself, I want to be in a necessity field. Here's what I mean. You know, a lot of people don't own electricity, water, food, things that people, they got to have. It ain't nothing you got to sell people on. You don't have to convince them for it. And when I saw this sanitary napkin, I knew. I said, this is it. This is what I've been looking for, to be able to get in that realm where you don't have to convince yourself. Well, demand, hold on. The only thing that prevents manipulation is validation. Validate your point for us. I am. With everything that's going on in the world right now, with people losing jobs, their unemployment, over 10 million people that's unemployed covering right now. Restaurants closed. We had the biggest month we ever had since we opened our doors last month. You know why? Because we got a product we don't have to convince people to use. They got to have it. The women that use our product, they got to have it every single month. There is no in between. If she was comfortable in dry in January, she want to be comfortable in dry in February, in March, in April, in May, in June. It's nonstop. So you don't have to go back and resell that customer.
Woo! That's strong.
That they have. You see? And that's what people haven't been able to wrap their mind around, that we figured out that it's a residual business. And Brother Romacio, it's been residual from day one. And our investors, man, if you think I'm kidding, I'll put you on a call with them, and you can ask every last one of them. I have never had to go back to none of them for a dime. Not one penny. Hey, I need a little more money. I'm going to need to do this. Once they planted their seed, man, we've created a harvest, and we've been operating in the black probably since our first 60 to 90 days being involved, man. We've been off to the races.
Wow. What an absolute amazing testimony of activated faith and favor falling upon your life. For the last 5 minutes, Damon, if you were to wrap all this up, because a lot has been shared, and I want to preface this with, guys, I want to encourage every single one of you to go back and re-listen to this specific call at least 2 times. I promise you, if you listen to it with an open mind, you're going to hear different things each time you listen to it. Because depending upon the place where you're at in your life, in your area of development of faith, it will determine what you hear. And I want to let everyone know that the blessing that you're looking for, that you're hoping for, it's never going to come from a person. It's going to come through a person. In other words, it's going to be, faith comes by hearing. So that means it's going to be something that you hear from someone that will activate something inside of you to say, wait a minute. And that's why I want to encourage you guys to go back and re-listen to this. We're going to put it up within 24 hours. But, Damon, for the last 4 or 5 minutes here, how would you summarize everything that we've talked about over the last hour?
Well, one of the things that I would say, you know, Brother Romacio, is, man, first of all, once you see adversity or experiencing an adverse situation, don't fold your hand, man. This is the time now with, you know, your listeners that get on your call with you every Sunday. This is time now for you to actually, you know, activate what you've learned. That's why it's there. It's there for a reason. You're hearing all of this for a reason, because there's something you're getting prepared for, potentially. So now you're able to take the testimony of someone else and say, you know what, man, I'm going to apply these principles to my life to be able to win. Here's what also I want to share, Romacio, that, man, I want people to take you serious. And the reason why I'm saying this, and I know you didn't ask me to say this, you don't know I'm going to say this, but for them to be able to be associated with you is an honor, man. You know, you've done it. You're documented. You're documented on a whole nother level, man. You've done $100 million business in less than 18 months. $100 million in revenue, man. That's worth standing ovation. That's somebody you need to hear from. That's why, man, I love sharpening my axe with you, man. I love our conversations. I love the way, hey, hold on. When we're talking to each other, you got to validate your position. And I love that because none of us are willing to take any wood nickels from each other to keep us sharp. So to your listeners out there, man, I pray that they take your mentorship serious. I pray that they take this call serious. And I pray that they apply the things that they're learning because it's getting to a point, Romacio, where it's time for application, man. A lot of the talking and sideline gibberish, it's got to go, man. We need to see what you look like in the war zone. We need to see what you can do in the jungle. We need to see, if you're able to run the rule book you're always trying to teach to everybody else, and you've been able to do that. Man, you have the resume for it. You have the actions for it. So I want to spend my last few minutes just pleading with your listeners to please, man, respect who this brother is, man, and make sure that you align yourself with the vision that he has to be able to help you go to the next level that you deserve to go to in your life. And a lot of times it takes a mentor, man. It comes through a person. So to be able to take his experience and the accountability that I know he's going to challenge you with, man, you're going to be victorious because God is no respecter of person. If they've been able to do it for a giant like him, they can do it for you as well. Back to you, brother. Thank you for having me, man.
Man, you have richly blessed each and every single one of us here today, and we just we thank you, Duman. Oh, my God, that was an amazing breakdown from start to finish on every level upon what favor is. It starts with faith and then to favor, having a vision, activated faith. I mean, you really broke it down and put the cherry on top with your own personal story, man. May God's favor continue to fall upon you and any venture that you touch. I really, really appreciate the seeds that you've planted into all of these different listeners here today. And for those people that want to stay connected with you, I know that you have your business, you're doing your thing, but I just imagine there's some people on this call today that are like, hey, wait a minute, does that brother have a book? Does he have a call? I don't know how you operate, but if people want to contact you and plug into a call that you do or a book or a workshop or maybe even the training you talked about that you taught way back when, how can these listeners find and connect with you?
Man, well, one of them, Facebook, Damon Crump. That's my Facebook page. But I don't put a lot of business stuff up there, man, because, we have a private group that we have on Facebook, which is for our distributors, and I just don't like to cross that line. So just generically Facebook or anything else, man, they can obviously go through you, especially all of your listeners, because I truly believe they got a great mentor in you, man. And, as we begin to process things, I'll let you know. And if people want to come, they can. But more than anything, our heart is for them to stay focused. And I wanted to just come here just to solidify them being focused with you, man, and being a guest on the call with you, brother. So definitely I appreciate it, and thank you for all the doors that you're helping open for me. But I want to just make sure that they stay focused because I know you got an airtight game plan that you're executing, and that's what I will appreciate more than anything else at a moment like this.
Awesome. Absolutely. Well, guys, there you heard it. Wow. As they would say, mic drop. Boy, that was a powerful call. Listen, I want you guys to know this call will be uploaded in less than 24 hours. Go to the website, download it, and do us a favor. Always remember, gifts are meant to share, not to keep. Take this call, listen to it for yourself, but share it with some other people. And then I want you to stay tuned. Because next Sunday, oh man, it's gonna be power again. I've got a lady, Stanisha Graham, 7-figure digital marketer, gonna be training and talking about favor next week. So guys, I love you, and don't ever forget, in all that you do, there's nobody any greater than you. I love you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks again, Mr. Crump. Bye bye, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Okay, all righty, sir. Bye bye.